G'day there guys, it's Connor here again from Marquee Industries, and you guessed it, we're back with some more stories from Reddit. As always, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe and all that stuff, and let's get straight to the stories. Okie dokie, we're on relationship advice. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, "My friend with benefits is being weirdly clingy and acting like she's my girlfriend and stuff. I'm confused. I've been seeing this girl for about a year, and we both agreed that we didn't want to be exclusive or date. We both agreed this would be friends with benefits and purely sexual, as well as being friends. Absolutely no romance. Friends that bang sometimes, that's all. And now she's acting weirdly clingy. It's not annoying or anything, I don't really mind, it's just weird. So we're going to Timmy's for a coffee, or Tim Hortons, and we see some of my friends. So obviously I stop to talk to them, and I'm like, hey, you guys want to come get Timmy's with us? They're like, yeah, okay, sure. So we all go to Timmy's, and then we decided to go drink it in a local park. My friend with benefits, we'll call her Ember, was being extremely clingy, sitting obnoxiously close to me and always clinging to my arm and stuff while we were walking. Not like I really minded, but still, weird. Another time, we're at my house, I'm smoking a blunt. I'm doing this thing where you blow a smoke bubble. We live in Canada, so weed's legal for 19 plus. So I'm trying to teach her and her other friends with us, and decide to film it because, not gonna lie, her trying and failing at blowing one properly, and then her reaction to finally successfully blowing a smoke bubble, was by far the cutest crap I've ever seen. So her friend posts it, and Ember posts it on her social media too. You know what the caption is? Love heart, love heart, love heart, stoner guys are bae. So at first I laughed at it thinking it was cute, but then I was like, hold up, that's a lot of heart emojis. Am I missing something, or is it nothing? Also, I know I'm saved in her phone as Loveheart Babe. So now I'm starting to be like, hold up, something's up here. Also, her lock screen on her phone is a photo of us together. It's a photo of us just chilling on my bed together. Sounds awfully couple-like to me. I feel pretty confused though, and yeah, maybe I'm just overreacting, maybe not, I don't know. Also, she impulsively feels the need to check in with me 24/7 and tell me where she's at. I don't know why, but whenever she goes anywhere, she wants to check in. Not just as a safety thing if she's going to a bar or something, I mean 24/7, even when I'm busy. She also always wants me to stay over 24/7 because all her classes for college are online this year, and her dad is constantly busy, so 24/7 she wants to hang out at her place or mine and spend the night, even if we aren't going to bang. Also, she gets all pissy and jealous when I talk to other chicks. I'm confused, and now I think she likes me, but I don't know, I need advice on what to do. I don't really want to call things off, but I'm super confused here. It's weird AF. You think she likes you? Bro, you gotta be the thickest dude out there. She absolutely has developed feelings for OP here. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that if you're seeing each other this often and having sex. Let's go to the comments. There's nothing confusing about this. She has developed feelings for the guy she's having sex with and hanging out with regularly. You guys may have set boundaries early, but there's enough evidence that her feelings have grown past that, and it will continue this way until you tell her otherwise. OP says, I've told her otherwise many times, that I'm not going to do all that commitment bullcrap anytime soon, and that this is just a friends with benefits thing. Trust me, it's been very clear. Dude, talk to her and set some boundaries. She's fallen for you. OP says, we already had boundaries. It didn't work very well, clearly. The boundaries were dead in 2 weeks. Well, it's time to break up or ask her out if you want to be her boyfriend. He says, but she's literally the cutest and sweetest, so obviously breaking up would be dumb. Alright bro, ask her out then. Sounds like OP likes her as well. Let's go to the update. We're dating. I officially stopped being an idiot, and now we're dating, and I couldn't be happier about that. Basically, we went to a bar, 19-year-olds can legally drink here, and we got kind of split up, so I'm sitting at the bar and she's by the pool table. She's talking to some guy. I'm thinking who the actual F is that? And we went with other friends too, so my friend smacks the back of my head, and he's like, you can't get jealous if you're not trying to date her. I'm like, I'm not jealous, which was bullcrap, I was jealous. But then I was like, why the hell am I jealous of some random guy at a bar talking to a chick I'm not even with? So for the next 2 or 3 days, I'm contemplating all my life decisions. She comes over, we have sex, she's getting up to get dressed, and I'm like, can you stay though? Usually she asks to stay. I asked her to stay, and she's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I don't know, I want you to stay. I was thinking we could get breakfast in the morning. She goes, okay, so should I call our friends? I'm like, no, I mean just us, like alone. Mind you, at this point I've realised being pissy about a dude from a bar is going to get me nowhere in life, so during breakfast, the best morning, I asked her to be my girl. This year, don't wait for what you want to just happen, actually make an effort. Turns out all the people in the comments telling me it seemed like I like her were right, so good on y'all. We've been dating 2 weeks, and I've never been so happy. It's frickin' lit. One comment says, careful, I have a similar story with myself and my significant other. It's been 8 years now, and we're engaged to be married. Ha ha. You two are adorable. It's great to see a happy update for once about friends with benefits who catch feelings. I had a friend with benefits a few years ago and caught feelings. I could tell he didn't feel the same way, but I liked him too much to end it, so I just pretended like nothing had changed. After a few months, I started to notice him acting different, wanting to hang out alone more often in a non-sexual context. I finally decided I needed to ask him out and find out one way or another. We've been together for 3 years now. I thank my lucky stars every day that it worked out so well. For a while there, I really thought I was destined for heartbreak. Yeah, we love a good ending and some good anecdotes from the comments there. To be 23 again, right? Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and we'll move on to another story. Alrighty, something a bit different. This is from the Credit Score subreddit. It was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, My mum got a $30,000 personal loan in my name without my knowledge. The account is from February, which was when they bought a boat. Now they've missed 4 payments and told me they're going to let it default since the boat can't be repossessed, and they're going to call DCFS on me. I knew my mum had her eye on a pontoon boat for the last year. She and my dad retired in 2022, and while they aren't swimming in money, they weren't hurting much for it either. Or so I thought. They bought a boat in February for a little over $30,000. I didn't think a lot of it since they always rented a pontoon boat 2 to 3 times a year and didn't appear to have money issues. At the start of July, I began getting my ducks in a row to buy a house. When I applied for a pre-approval, I found out that my credit score was barely over 600 and I had an extra $30,000 in debt I had no idea about. Even worse, it was 90 plus days late. I told the lender the account wasn't mine, and he said my identity had probably been stolen, but it was probably someone close to me as the money would have to go to a bank account with my name on it. I shared a bank account with my ex-fiancée and asked the bank to look into it. They said the account had been closed a couple of years ago when we broke up, and no attempts to send money to it or take money from it have been made since. I filed a dispute with the company and the credit agencies as it was obvious to me I'd been hacked or my identity had been stolen. About a week ago, I got a notice from the company to my apartment, first I'd ever heard from them, saying they were going to charge off the account if the payment wasn't made. I requested more information from them and they linked me to their fraud department. They were able to tell me where the money was sent, to a bank account from when I was a minor that I shared with my mum. When I called that bank, they confirmed there was activity on the account and the statements showed the loan coming in and almost all of the money being transferred into what looks like my mum's account at the same bank. I haven't used that bank in more than a decade. I called my mum and asked her about it, and she, after a long pause, said that's how they bought the boat. They made one payment on the account and realised they probably couldn't afford the monthly payment for the next 5 years. When I asked why they hadn't told me, she said it was because they figured I would say no. They were right, and that they had worked hard in their lives and wanted to enjoy retirement. It ended by them saying the boat couldn't be repossessed because it was a personal loan. My mum suggested declaring bankruptcy, and I told them I was going to the police. My mum said not to do that because they wouldn't take it seriously. When I told her I was doing it anyway, she hinted that she might have to call DCFS on me. My 2-year-old burned themselves on a hot pan earlier this year. Simple ER visit and was told accidents happen, he's fine. Regarding an unsafe home. I think I'm still going to the police because declaring bankruptcy would make it impossible to buy a house. I just needed to vent and looking for any advice. Wow, that mum sounds like a real piece of work, doesn't she? Let's go to the comments. Copying this for every identity theft situation I see on here, since it seems to happen a lot, where you know who the person is who stole your identity. This is all the information you can find in this sub and others. 1. Call the police. You're the victim of identity theft, plain and simple. It doesn't matter who did it or what your relationship is to them. They broke the law. Now they have to face the consequences of their actions. 2. Freeze your credit. You want to make sure it doesn't happen again. Take the proactive route of freezing your credit. 3. Monitor and track your credit. You need to be alerted if anyone tries opening a line of credit in your name. This gives you a way to do it for free and it shows your credit score. 4. Warn anyone else who might be a victim. This includes family members or anyone else whose social security number might be compromised by the thief. 5. Take the police report to the credit bureaus. Give them the report number when you dispute all of the accounts. Most of the time, that will be enough for them to take the accounts off of your credit. It's on the creditors themselves to prove the accounts are legitimately yours, and the bureaus aren't going to get into the middle of it. A police report goes a long way in clearing up your credit. Don't take identity theft lying down, even if it's someone close to you. If you let them get away with it, get ready for 5 to 10 years of bad credit, collection agencies coming after you, lawsuits, etc. Your mum 100% committed familial identity theft, and now she's trying to scare you into not reporting her. Don't let her scare you. DCFS, or the same thing in other states, DSS, DFS, CWS, etc., are typically only going to take action if there is clear-cut signs of abuse. It sounds like a minor burn months ago is nothing. The ER staff is right, accidents happen. Anyone can make an online report for DCFS on anyone for anything. It literally means nothing unless it's a legitimate report, and even then, the sad state of many of these state services mean even real reports of real abuse often slip through the cracks. I would look into a restraining order if she tries it though. Don't declare bankruptcy whatever you do, just make the police report and give that information to the company that gave them the loan and the credit bureaus. They'll take care of the rest. Another comment says, she stole $30,000, potentially ruined your financial future for 7 years, threatened to put your child in a situation where they could be taken and put in foster care for a frickin' pontoon boat? If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Let's go to an update, 1.5 months later. I filed my police report the same day as my first post. The officer and I talked for probably 20 minutes, and I printed out a statement from the bank. I spoke with a detective a couple days later for another 20 minutes. Fast forward about 2.5 weeks, and my dad called, saying my mum had been arrested. He said an officer and a detective showed up at their house asking to speak with her. When she went onto the porch, they grabbed her and arrested her. The detective, the same one I talked to, explained they had a warrant. My mum has never been in trouble with the law in her life, and she got arrested on a felony. They tried talking to her, and she immediately requested a lawyer. They stopped asking questions, but didn't let her see a lawyer right away. My dad was furious, but the detective told him to have a lawyer go down to the county jail in the morning before she went to the judge. The next morning, apparently she and the lawyer talked, and she was released in the afternoon with a new court date. About a week later, I get a call from DCFS requesting to meet with me about my son. I had nothing to hide, so I agreed. We spoke for about half an hour at my apartment and I explained the situation. She seemed understanding and told me there are no obvious issues, she just had to follow up on a report. I will say if I'm ever in trouble, I'm hiring her lawyer. The case was dismissed at her next court date in late September. The detective called me the next day and explained the state attorney believed that they wouldn't be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt she intentionally stole my identity. He said he figured it was a BS reason because he had documents from the bank and loan company. He said the state attorney drops a lot of cases, even open and shut ones, especially when it's non-violent and they have a hired attorney. She never made a statement other than her attorney telling the detective that she didn't do it. She also said the loan company might go after my mum in a lawsuit. What brings me back here is that a couple of weeks ago the account dropped from my credit. Even better though, I got a letter from DCFS yesterday saying the allegation against me was unfounded. I'm never talking to my piece of trash mum again. Thank you everyone who gave me advice and hope in my first post. It just sucks that she's probably going to end up with a free boat out of it, unless the loan company sues her, which I hope they do. One comment says, send the loan company the address where the boat is kept with a photo. I'm glad you took advice and did the right thing and glad things worked out for you, except for your parents being horrible. To give a bit of context to the DA, I've posted this here before, but I'm not a lawyer, but I've worked professionally with prosecution on a bunch of cases, and going through an entire trial is crazy expensive and time-consuming. Like 6 figures in 3 years isn't an uncommon cost. My guess on why this kind of thing doesn't get prosecuted pretty much ever is because there's basically no chance of recidivism. It's a crime of opportunity where she has very limited opportunities, and it's not likely to deter others from doing this if they make an example of a couple people, so there's no real legal benefit in spending the time and money to prosecute. The loan company probably will sue her, but that shouldn't really make you feel better. The loan company issued a loan in your name based on her signature, which they can now prove is her signature, so they must have known they were issuing an illegal loan at the time. If anything, I kind of wish they couldn't recover because, unlike other random parents, other loan companies are likely to stop doing this if enough of them have huge losses from issuing these loans. Have a lawyer send a cease and desist letter stating, since you took out a loan in my name and then called the DCFS, you are no longer able to contact me or my child. Attach a copy of the loan papers and DCFS report. If she tries after that, look into a restraining order. And now for a new update. 3 months later. I'm happy to say nothing else has popped up on my credit in the last 3 months. What I'm really happy to say is that the credit card company itself is suing my mum for almost $40,000, according to my aunt. I no longer talk to my mum, but she messaged me on Facebook last week. She had the nerve to ask me to both ask the credit card company to drop the lawsuit and pay half of what they're asking for with the understanding that I'll be paid back at some point. Both of these with the veiled threat that she'll call DCFS again if I don't. No and no. She's seeing the consequences of her actions. Wow, the absolute gall. Some final comments. Keep the messages, show them to the DCFS worker. Depending on jurisdiction, making false reports could be an offence. Especially if she really said she would call DCFS again, then that's proof. The first call, which opened an investigation, was fraudulent and malicious. Even without her calling again, they could use that to go back and charge her on the initial call, and double so if she did call again. Absolutely, hell, I wouldn't wait. I'd show the police and DCFS those messages now. You need to file a report for threats and harassment with the police. They'll be able to tell you what the charge would be. Just print out the messages. You have proof in writing that she's going to commit fraud. Alrighty guys, and that's the end of that story. Well, honestly, I don't know what else to say about these parents. Imagine doing that sort of thing to your own kid. God, how pathetic. Anyway guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts as usual. Let me know in the comments. Either way, we're moving on again. Okie dokie, over to Petty Revenge. This one was written by user Lily Quinn, and it's titled, You Should Smile More. I was out running errands, lost in thought, just trying to get through the day. As I walked past a man, he looked at me and said, You should smile more, it would look much better on you, with a stupid smile on his face like he was giving me genuine advice. I stopped, turned to him and said, I just got back from identifying my sister's body. She was murdered last night. His face went pale, his mouth opened, then closed like he was searching for words, but nothing came out. He just nodded awkwardly and practically ran away. I don't actually have a sister, but the entitlement some people have to dictate a stranger's emotions is infuriating. You have no idea what someone is dealing with, and assuming they owe you a smile is just ignorant and selfish. Maybe next time he'll think twice before telling someone how they should feel. Yeah, seriously, why do people say that crap to strangers? Like, do you think you're being smart or something? But yeah, props to OP for coming up with a good rebuttal there. I probably would have just said jog on or something. Let's go to the comments. An intern at work, young enough to be my son, pulled this one on me. Smile, it can't be that bad. I turned to him and said, Yes, it can. My father died last week. This was indeed the case. It was my first day back to work after his funeral. I taught middle school while I was going through chemo and lost my hair. Luckily it was right before Halloween, so I picked a bunch of different wigs. I was wearing a blonde dreadlocks wig and a worker joked, Bad hair day? I straight-faced answered, No hair day, I have cancer, and walked out. The secretary said he was demolished and kept telling everybody how sorry he was. I had a similar experience, lost my hair to chemo, so instead of wearing a hat or scarf, I thought I'd have fun with it and wore a wig. It was a purple bob shape and I actually loved how I looked in it. An older female stranger saw me in my wig at work and said something like, "Oh my god, what did you do to your hair? Why would you do that?" I gleefully informed her of my current condition, and she ran away so fast. That's great. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave that there. That's it from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.